Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, got a busy one today. I'm going to go for the Soulforge, tell you what's good and bad in there. Going to look at this Frightful Spooks. Frightful Spooks, yeah, we've got a event in there. Going to show you a really cool no Mythic Invasion team, an Underspire team, and more. So let's crack on with it. Lots to get through today. So it's North Star, that's the guild I'm in. They're looking for a couple of new players. So if you play on PlayStation and fancy a change of guild, or just want to be in a guild that's really cool, drama-free, and gets literally every single reward every single week, as well as LTs just without fail week in, week out, then message Red Hot Rockstar on PSN. So let's take a look at this weekly event troop, the Elven Noble. Destroy all enraged gems, give magic +1 life to all allies boosted by gems destroyed. Destroyed with full effect, that's pretty cool. Allied elves gain 2 life, is immune to mana drain, silence, fairy fire and deathmark, and all allies gain 2 random skill points. Life to all allies is alright, but it's not a huge amount of life. And the destroy all enraged gems could be a counter to certain troops, I suppose. And the fact you destroy them all with full effect, and if there's at least 4 there, it means your whole team's going to get the benefit of being enraged as well as gain red. So you do need some red mana using troops in your team to make the most of that. But I still don't think it's that great. 4 out of 5 for you, Mr. Elven Noble. But it could be better than that if it was a good counter to certain enragey troops that like to create loads of skulls and bash you into oblivion. Anyway, as ever, get all the way to mythic level if you can. Like that. Anyway, I went for a job interview the other day, and the geezer said to me, do you perform well under pressure? I said, no, but I can do a pretty decent Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What am I pressing? I don't know. What am I doing? I don't know. Oh, I've already pressed the wrong buttons this morning. I pressed that thing this morning. You know when on a Monday you go to your messages thing over here, and it's got collect all, and you do it and you don't think what you're doing, and you've activated all your flipping XP bonuses without meaning to. Yes, I did that thing, and I'd ignored it. I went downstairs, had some breakfast and a cup of tea, and I let that thing run out. Haha, take that. You don't bother me much. Anyway, onto the Soulforge. Let's dive into this thing. Got stuff to do, and it's raining really heavy today. It's bashing against the window. Sounds a bit rude. But anyway, it's like the rain is bashing against the window. Let's look at the weapons first. Crikey, let's not get this off on a tangent immediately. Right, first up, do not get the Highborn Tome from here. It's going to cost you these resources, which are valuable, and you can get the weapon from the event. So get it from the event shop instead. Much better to do it that way, because you get the sigils, you get the event sigils and things like that, and all the other stuff at the same time, for the cost of a few gems, which are much easier to get than your other hard-earned resources like diamonds. Anyway, it deals magic +3 damage to the first 2 enemies boosted by elf allies. That is it. So another basic weapon. You're probably not going to bother to use it unless you're really new to the game, but it is what it is. Not going to go over all these other ones that are here all the time. They're in my Soulforge extra video, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. But next up we have Nature Sword. Deal magic +4 damage, it looks like, to the first enemy. Deal triple damage if they use brown mana. So pretty decent against the brown mana using troops. That's going to really make a difference if you're a newer player to the game. It does have Tangling as one of its upgrades. If you get that, it means it's going to entangle the top troop, which saves you from protection from damage from skull hits when they're entangled, which can be good against skull-based teams who happen to use a brown. Oh, what else we got? We have a Crystal Point. Deal damage to an enemy boosted by Silverglade allies, then create a mix of 6 yellow and purple gems for each Silverglade ally. Uses green and red, creates yellow and purple. So you can see you can have to have a couple of Silverglade allies in your team, at least, that use yellow and or purple to make the most of all that mana generation. Doomed Mask. Not one of my favourite Doomed weapons, this one, at all. Does give life to all allies with a +2 per tempering level boost, and give 5 mana to all other allies, so not yourself. If the enemy has a Doom, which it probably won't anymore because it's like for the Doom event, give 4 more mana and give 2 magic to all allies for each blue enemy. So with all that going on, it's only most effective against an all blue team as well. So yeah, not fantastic for me, not one of my favourite things. The Rune Stone of Silverglade, the anti-Silverglade weapon if you like. Remove all purple gems, that's the colour they tend to like the most. Then deal magic based damage to an enemy boosted by the gems removed. If the enemy is from Silverglade, or if the battle is in Silverglade, deal double damage. So it can be effective in those situations, but those situations don't seem to come up very much. But ever so cheap to buy, pretty worth getting, I think, because it just gives you another weapon, which you can get to mythic level pretty easily, and then you've got another weapon that's fully crafted or fully leveled up, and that means you can power up your kingdoms a little bit quicker as well, maybe. So always good to get these cheap weapons sometimes. Ethereal Shield. Gain magic +1 armor and barrier a random ally for every daemon enemy. So, yeah, gain armor and barrier a random ally. It can be pretty good if you're against an all daemon team, because barrier is pretty good. It's pretty strong. Defends you from one instance of incoming damage. Not like an instant kill though or anything like that. You just die anyway. But still, it can be useful, but not essential. There's not many essential Silverglade weapons, it seems. The Wild Orb. Create 3 to 8 wild cards with various multipliers. It's so wild, I don't think I've ever used it. It's just too random for me. That lower amount, 3 or 4, is quite likely to set up the enemy as it is to do something good for you. But on the higher scale of that, if it creates 7 or 8, it could be absolutely wild. Ha ha ha. Didn't even plan that, it just happened. The jokes write themselves sometimes. But it could be good. I've got to give it a proper go, I suppose, because yeah, you never know it until you try it. I wouldn't apply that to all things. There's some things which everyone says try everything once, don't they, to know if you like it. I'm not going into graphic detail, but I know there are certain things I would not enjoy once, ever. So they're not happening. So no, I do not test that. But I will test that at some point. What am I going on about? Right. Anyway, let's carry on. Emerald Blade. It's a greeny colour, and it's got a blade. I wonder how they got that name. Anyway, it explodes in magic +1 purple gems. It's a classic explodey summoning weapon. Love these. Grant a random status effect to all Silverglade allies and summon a Silverglade troop. Happy days. Mana gen. Status effects. Summon. Good stuff. What else we got? Arcanus's Blade. I'm glad it's got the arc in front of it. Otherwise, you wonder. No. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy if he is on my team. Enchant myself. Okay. Yes. I'm not letting this just slide into oblivion. Silver Saber. Deal magic-based. What am I on? Magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by blue allies and night allies. So basic damage with a boost. Any more for any more. Oh, we've got a Misty Journal hanging around at the bottom. It's a journal and it looks a bit... It's not in the mist, is it? So it must be a little bit mystifying. Anyway, does damage to the first 2 enemies boosted by Silverglade allies. So yeah, bit of basic damage with a boost, but the benefit of knowing you can hit the first 2 enemies, which sometimes if they're stealthy and things like that, you cannot always hit them how you want around the bonds. And lingering around at the bottom like a Crystallian Blade, we have a Crystallian Blade. Does damage to the first 2 enemies again, boosted by Silverglade allies. So another basic damage with a boost, but it does have a couple of okay upgrades at the same time. So there you go, that is the weapons. Let's now shift along without further ado. Is it with further ado or without further ado? Without further ado. Let me drink a little bit of my coffee. I've got a cup of coffee. I've got a milky coffee. Latte. Delicious. So first up, let's look at these summoning stones. You're looking for anybody that's empowered. That's troops that start with full mannered. Goblins, they have an extra turn. Very, very handy indeed. So starts battles with full mana. Very handy in Guild Wars matches and some PvP games, things like that. It gives life to the weakest ally. Transforms purple to yellow to boost the effect and cleanse all allies. Very, very nifty indeed. Anybody in this section here not too amazing? Oh, red, we've got Toad Squeezer. Really, really cool. Goblins always come with an extra turn. You're looking for them as well. Very, very handy indeed. Pick up Toad Squeezer if you can, or get lucky with those summoning stones. And nobody else absolutely essential there. Another empowered troop here. Starts battles with full mana. First mate, Axel Luber. He likes to lube his Axel. Anyway, that's how I read it. And nobody particularly there. So cool. Right, always have a little gander through those. So on to the mythics now. We'll look at the mythics first and a quick look at the legendaries afterwards. But Kukulkan, This is cool. This is one of those ones that was only available with a whole bunch of gold marks, and I always thought that these were nothing special to justify 2,500 gold marks. That's like 25 random books. That's really cool. Or a mythic which you're not really going to use, because there's plenty of other things that do the same thing. I don't really see where this gave you an advantage over other troops that are already in the game, but it's now in the Soulforge available to get, and rather bizarrely, despite all my resources, I can't actually buy this yet, so I'm going to have to pick up some Celestials this week, because I spent a bunch of Celestials upgrading my kingdoms, because I had a chance to do a couple of upgrades. It allowed me to get the entire bottom row to level 20, and I couldn't resist that, so I did it, and spent my Celestials, and now suddenly I need some. So, yeah. Resource management is a big deal in this game. So, but I should get 6 this week at some point. Surely. Surely. Anyway. It does damage to all enemies. Boosted by freeze gems. If there's a storm, deal double damage. Then create 3 freeze gems. So, pretty good with a storm. Double damage. Not too shabby. Does 12 damage to a random enemy when matching blue gems, which you do to charge it up. It uses blue. And reduce damage from spells by 25%, as well as summon an ice storm from the start, which is blue. So it actually works really well with its own traits, which is not always the case. So yeah, pretty decent. I'll be definitely crafting that once I pick up those Celestials. Wild King, very, very devastating mythic. Summons a bone storm at the start of battle, which is more skulls. All the wild folk allies gain 1 magic when my turn begins, which is pretty cool. And the spell is devastating, but it can turn against you sometimes if you're unlucky, same as the Wild Queen. But enrage all allies and give them magic +1 attack. Then create a mix of 22 skulls and yellow gems. So yeah, really good. When you get enraged, you do 1.5 times attack and you ignore enemy traits. So with all those skulls, it can be absolutely devastating. So yeah, do like a bit of the Wild King when you fancy a bit of skull action. King Bloodwood does heavy splash damage to an enemy, boosted by entangled and bleeding enemies, and steal 10 life from all enemies. So take it from them and give it to you, as well as that heavy splash damage with a boost. And he has that third trait as well, entangle and inflict bleed on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. So yeah, reduce damage from skulls by 33% is alright, but he's nothing special. Yasmin's Chosen can be handy counter against skull-based teams. Entangle a random enemy when matching green is pretty neat, but there's other ways to entangle enemies as well. And of course, that only comes into play if you happen to entangle the top troop, the one that's actually doing skull damage. It is useful to entangle the second one as well, because if you kill that top troop, then it's useful to have the second troop entangled immediately, so you're not actually prone to skull damage again. But she does do scatter damage, boosted by entangled enemies, and create 10 green gems, which gives her a chance to charge up and do it again. So a good counter to skull-based teams, but not a perfect. So that is the mythics. Yeah, that's all 4 of them. Who's the extra? Who's the one that gives us the bonus Dragonite? Not the bonus Dragonite, the guaranteed summon. So spend more Dragonite, 2,000 of the stuff, and you can guarantee yourself Solarithus. This is on the way to collecting or crafting Stellarix. So if this is the only dragon you need, then I think it's worth the extra Dragonite, because if you only need 1 dragon, it's like rolling a 6, or needing a 6 when you roll a dice every single time, and it could take ages at that normal cost of Dragonite, and you could get frustrated and be annoying, and then you wish you'd done this to guarantee it. It's done, it's in the bag, absolutely guaranteed. On the other hand, you could get lucky and get it with a normal egg, absolutely straight away. So player's choice, but I know what I would rather do. But who gets mine? No, it's not even that time yet. I'm rushing ahead. It's a quick look at the legendaries time. Zernabog, really good legendary. Conjure a dust storm when his turn begins. That's brown, so a brown storm every single turn that he's still alive in the team, and it creates 10 brown gems and explodes just every gem in the world basically when he explodes his stuff at a higher level. Very, very good legendary indeed for managing. Do like him a lot. Nutcracker 1225. Eliminate all armor from an enemy. Explode all gems of one of the enemy's colors. then explode all stone blocks. It's like, it can be useful for that. Eliminating all armor and give 5 armor to all mechs when matching 4 or more gems is okay, and impervious is alright too. So yeah, not a cracker. It is what it is. So Quentin Hadley, really handy Knight Beast. This all knights start with 50% mana, really cool, and the spell is nifty too. Convert purple gems to yellow, green to skulls, and then deal magic +2 damage to random enemies. Very good. If you like a knight team, he's pretty much essential. King Avelorn, pretty much essential too if you haven't already got it. All elves start with 50% mana, and there's some really good elf teams out there now. And deals magic +1 damage to all enemies, so damage to all, and it gets a boost by elf, elemental, and beast allies, and has a summon as well. And is immune to mana drain, silence, fairy fire, and entangle. So yeah, very good indeed. But who gets my... no, don't do that. Mythic of the week. Well, I think we're going to have a little look here, because I've forgotten who some of them are. Colourclam's actually really cool. I actually do like the sound of that with that double damage. But for pure devastation, you can't really beat the Wild King out of these ones here. Very good indeed. Can turn against you if you get unlucky with that creation of skulls and yellows, but it doesn't happen very often if you do it at the correct moment. So yes, absolutely devastating troop, can absolutely wreck through teams really fast, because I just love the fact that it gives all allies that attack. So even if it's not him doing the damage, whoever is at the top is going to be doing insane skull damage. So the Wild King, my Mythic of the week. Next up, a quick bonus section. Let's just show how we go over this event here, the Frightful Spooks. Very simple to run these events. It's just simply, you're going to get 3 battles a day for free, so make sure you log in and do them every single day, and you can spend gems to do extra battles if you want. And you gain these rewards as we go along. What are they called? They are called Trapped Souls. Good. I'm glad they weren't called R. That would be tricky to explain without sounding everything like being a bit like rude. So yeah, I'm glad they're not called R, and I'm glad they're called Trapped. All you do is you do 3 battles a day. You have to use purple using troops for this, and basically fight whoever you want. Just, you can fight the lower level one if you want. You're still going to get 20 of the Trapped Souls, as if you do the level 19 one. Just makes you feel a bit more heroic, and then just pick your favourite purple team and just wreck your way through very easily. Like yeah, this should be fairly straightforward. Just grab some mana, not even really going to look. There you go, job done. And just do that every single day. Collect your Trapped Souls. I've got to remember they're not called R. Suddenly that's in my brain. And then you spend your stuff in the event shop. What I always suggest is you save up and get the legendary troop. See what this does. Either give magic-based life and bless all allies, or deal magic-based damage and curse all enemies, or explode all gargoyle gems. I don't like these ones that do this. This either thing. So it's like you want something specific to happen, not have a 1 in 3 chance of it happening in the first place. It's not like a choice one where you can choose. It's literally a random one out of those things. So not a fan of that. And yeah, the traits sort of become irrelevant in a way when you've got no control over what it does. So, I mean, I'll get it anyway, but that is far from essential. Like, for some people, they may be better off actually saving up for the Orb of Power on this one. Because that is, normally I really like to get the new troop, but I'll get it anyway, but it is far from essential. If you do that, you may want to pick up the upgraded pet thing at the same time. It's just going to give it a boost depending upon how far you take it. But yeah, if you do this daily, it's very easy to get like the new troop with its pet fully leveled up. So but yeah, you may want to get an Orb of Power at the same time, or instead of, because like I say, it's not a fantastic troop, but just do those daily battles and you can do those things. Next up, Invasion. Now for this event, you must use the event captain Siobhan in your team. It is pronounced like that. I've heard really weird pronunciations of this, like Siegebreaker and things like that, but it's an Irish name. The B and H is pronounced as a V, so it's Siobhan. It's an interesting name. But anyway, you must use her in your team to gain that ×2 magic and ×2 score for this event only. So get her from the shop. Now, tier 1, 2 and 3 I would say is absolutely essential. Tier 1 you have to get it anyway, because you have to buy the tiers in order. And when you do that, you get the Potion of Enchantment. Enchant all allies at the start of battle for this event only, and you get event sigils, more troops, more gold, at the same time. Tier 2 is where you pick up Siobhan, very cool, and you get the Potion of Explosion as well, exploding 4 gems at the start of battle again for this event only, and more sigils, more troops and stuff like that. Tier 3, you may as well get a new weapon. Nothing too spectacular about it, dealing damage to the first 2 enemies, boosted by elf allies, but get it, it's another weapon to add to your lot. There is 2 ways to get Siobhan to Mythic level. It's either buy her at Tier 2, then back out and then use 2 Orbs of Ascension to get her to Mythic level that way, or you can just buy enough tiers to get enough copies of her, so she'll be Mythic level automatically, but it does cost a lot more gems. So bearing that in mind, let's now take a look at the team. It's going to start off in a basic way where we're just going to do damage to all to knock out these early opponents, and then eventually we're going to get towers replacing these different troops, and this is where we can change the team around a bit. At first, we can just concentrate on damage to all, so let's just type in damage to all, and you can do this on your game as well, just to see what damage to all troops you've got, and there's various ways you can go about it. I'm going Black Manacles, damage to all enemies, 20% chance to get a Devour at the same time, going to make mincemeat of those early stages. We can chuck in Enchantress at the same time. There's 2 outstanding things about her, I would say. But does damage to all enemies and enchants a random allies, which is pretty cool as well as using yellow. This uses brown and purple, yellow and purple, and King Avelorn, our other damage to all troop, uses blue and green. So we're using a lot of the mana colours here, apart from red. And this does damage to all enemies, boosted by elf, elemental, and beast allies, and summons a Forest of Thorns troop. And all elves start with 50% mana. So very handy indeed. And we can use Siobhan here to just bash out that tower when it comes along. Now, when 2 towers come along, this is our other damage to all options, by the way. If you've got it, the Turquoise Emperor would be worth putting in. You get that nice damage there. Look, if I put it in, you'll see you actually get a nice boost from it. That's the damage before your bonuses, and then it goes up to 64 damage to all. But I'm doing this in the no mythic way at first, just for the benefit of newer players to the game. There's going to be plenty of these 3 damage to all troops to get things done in the early stages. But when things change and you get a whole bunch of the towers, then I would say you want to change one of the troops to, where is he? There he is, Sufu Yuan, whatever his name is. Replace Enchantress, chuck him to the top, and that should be kind of good. You've got an option here to change the weapon to something which creates skulls. There are definitely ways to do that, but all you're going to do is just basically wait for the skulls to come along when you get all the towers, and then just bash him into oblivion with him. His spell is going to just wreck the towers. Skull damage is going to wreck the towers. So, and when you cast him, he enchants 2 random allies at the same time. So yeah, the damage to all kind of goes out of the window a little bit because you're going to be just obliterating them with your top troop. But you can soften them up. So even if you don't smash them into oblivion in one hit, you can soften them up so it does so. So yeah, should be fairly straightforward. So yep, very straightforward for that. Let's change that troop back to the one I had a minute ago, and we'll do a couple of levels. Who was it? Enchantress. Yes, where's she gone? Outstanding for 2 particular reasons. Ha 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 ha. I'm so funny. Anyway, was the banner right? Yeah, +2 purple. That will do. Right, let's jump in. Class isn't absolutely essential for this. I'll do like a 50% mana starter though, because combined with that Potion of Enchantment and the Potion of Explosion means your troops are going to get up really quickly with a 50% mana start on everybody. Look at that. We've just got to get anything there. That would do. We'll give King Avelorn a bit of the glory. Everybody will be chipping in on these early stages out of these first 3 troops. The main troop will be sitting at the bottom, kind of doing nothing for a while, but essential to have in the team. She'll come into her own when the towers come along. There you go. We didn't have to do anything. The manacles just got up straight away. This is going to fly through these early stages. Really quick. Come on. Well, let's just do one more, then we'll jump forward a bit. Still got the Underspire team to go. And it feels like a long video already. But there's lots to show on a Monday. It's all important. Look at that. Oh, let's give manacles a bit of glory this time. Well, I've jumped forward to when 2 towers start appearing, but yeah, it's a combination of these 3 different damage to all damage dealers are just wrecking through the teams really, really quick. Barely having to do anything to get things going, because you can cast that one. If they didn't die, then your other troops are going to be up for the next round, or the one after that at worst, and it's very, very straightforward. It is dependent upon your magic level, of course, so make sure you got 3 times Nitrous equipped to give your troops extra damage, but there you go, we'll just obliterate them, and Enchantress can steal the glory by finishing off those ones which we softened up. Very, very straightforward. Let's just do one more, then I think we'll jump forward to when all the towers start appearing. So this is when we're going to make some slight adjustments to the team. So let's see what happens with that potion of explosion first. Let's grab our mana, let's soften them up with some manacles, and finish them off with Enchantress or King Avelorn. Let's make sure let's give Avelorn a bit of glory. Right, let's see what happens when 4 towers start appearing. Okay, so now all 4 towers have started appearing, and I did say I was going to change to the team with another Siegebreaker up top, but let me just show you what happens here, because with 3 of these damage to all damage dealers like this, still just wrecking through the enemy really, really easily, just by casting all 3 of them troops. Just cast them in order. I didn't have to do anything, they're already up. That's mental. But anyway, let's get this mana anyway, because I don't want the enemy to have it. Then we'll just cast them back to back, and as you can see, I've got like easy overkill. We still have the Enchantress sitting there, ready to finish off. Could cast the Siegebreaker at the bottom as well. So depending upon your power, because it is obviously power dependent at the same time, you may be able to just keep on whizzing through this event with these 3 damage dealers, because obviously it depends upon how far you go. Oh, excuse me, at the same time. But for me, this is absolutely flying through. I'm not having to do very, very little. Let's just get that because it's there, and all our troops are up. Crazy. You're not going to get any Devours or whatever it is with manacles, because the immunity that the towers have, but yeah, easy overkill. So, but let's go with what I was saying before. I think it's actually better with this right now, because the other way around with these Siegebreakers, you have to wait for skulls to come along to try that. But say this is going to be effective for you, replace Enchantress with him, chuck him to the top, and now you're going to get that lovely 3 to 5 times skull damage versus towers based on your ascension, so you can bash them out of it as well. But it does actually kind of lessen the effect of your damage to all damage dealers at the same time, because there's now only 2 of them. But it is handy if you're not going to one-shot the enemy with skulls, because then you can actually soften them up first. Right, so let's give it a bit of that. Like say you got one, that bottom one's there is nearly charged, or say it was about to cast, you can use him to get rid of that one. You can do a bit of that. See, in a way, yeah, I'll put it the other way around in a way. We'll still use that to get rid of them, but now you have to charge up again. So this could be like a Siegebreaker event without using the Siegebreakers, because Siobhan at the bottom there, she hasn't actually been used yet, apart from then, it's just as a part of a demonstration. So let's show this again. I mean, you can change to a weapon that generates a load of skulls or does a lot more damage, like if you've got the Ruby Macaque. You may want to stick that in there. Like if you want to do something like this to guarantee something like the Raven Tower thing doesn't flap away quickly, you can do that. You can get rid of that one quickly as well, because we've got our second Siegebreaker. So it's not, you know, unusable. It's not like rubbish. But I just thought it was actually a little bit better with the Enchantress in there. Or even another King Avelorn or whatever. But it may take another round or 2 to get charged up. See, they've had a chance to cast now, so in a way, I kind of did prefer it the other way around. Kind of a Siegebreaker event where we're probably not going to use the Siegebreakers, which is a bit weird, but Avalon's up, but we still need to get rid of that barrier first. So we need to get our other troop up. We've got brown. Have we got purple? No. Oh, let's do that then, just because. Be annoying. Is this a face of concern? You can't see the face, but it is not concerned. See, it's actually got annoying because they've got to cast again. Get out of it. Be gone. So you could obviously choose a weapon which creates skulls. There are those available. You You can also go the Ruby Macaque because it does lots of damage and things like that. But I actually think I preferred this with let's try it with a second King Avelorn, because with the potion of enchantment, he's gonna be going quick anyway, and because it uses opposite colours to manacles. I mean, obviously we can't get the Devourer with this, but it's just all about the damage to all. So just pick whatever does the biggest damage to all and try and get your Avelorns up. Yeah, it's going to be fine, look, because by the time we cast this one, the second one will be up. And they've only got like 9 life left, the highest amount, and we're doing 67. Again, it will depend upon your magic level in the game, how much damage you do, but for me, I'm going to be doing this Siegebreaker event without a Siegebreaker, which is a bit weird, but it is what it is. See, again, we cast this, that'll be up next round, and maybe you have to wait one more round for that. But all good. All good. If someone's nearly ready to go, you can finish them off with the bottom troop and then finish off with the second Avelorn. That's a good way to go about it on the later stages. Right, that is it. I've run out of sigils, but yeah, very, very straightforward invasion event. And finally, onto the Underspire. I'm going to show an all-round team at the beginning, but a couple of options how you can change it as well, because there are obviously some very powerful troops you could pick. Instead, you could have a Methialis here. Give 2 magic to all purple allies when matching purple gems. Makes itself stronger than any other purple allies. You could have that in the team as well. Really, really cool. So there are some more powerful options. But this is a pretty good way to go about it without any mythics. Cannonball up top. Deals triple skull damage versus entangled enemies. And as well as that, reduces damage from skulls by 33% and is impervious as well. And deals a huge amount of damage to an enemy, entangles them and pulls them to the front. So if there's a dangerous enemy in a team, you can target them, drag them to the front, get them entangled, and finish them off a lot quicker, as well as mess up the way the enemy team was intended to work. Very nifty indeed. Uses green and yellow. Second place, we could have something like life and death. Stealing life from the last 2 enemies, so this is taking life like true damage, as well as adding it to yourself. And death mark them, so if they survived, they can just die anyway. Then bless itself, and we can be in a really cool class for lots of purple. It uses purple and brown, like Archmagus. All purple allies gain 2 armor. Dark Hunger, steal 1 life from the first enemy when matching purple gems. Anti-magic sphere, reduce damage from spells by 20%. Mana source, start battles with 50% mana. Antiquity, gain 4 magic when using relics, doesn't really matter. Arcane Surge, gain bonus purple from a purple. And all mystics gain 2 magic and life when an enemy dies. As well as Mana Flare in the traits, gain 2 bonus purple mana when matching purple gems. So that's really cool in itself. But when we match purple, we can automatically enchant Crystal Axe. Gain enchant when matching purple gems, which does damage to all and has a summon, which is very handy. And you can also remove all gems of a chosen colour, and you can do that and look out for extra gem matches for your team at the same time. Vanya Soulmorn's a kind of bonus in a way. Bless a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches, and damage to all are boosted by blessed allies with another safety net of another summon. So damage with a boost by blessed, and remember when we cast our life and death, we also bless itself, so we get even more boosts that way. So the banner for this, I'm going to go for a +2 purple, +1 yellow, -1 red. And like I said, Archmage's class for all that lovely purple. So let's see how it goes. I said, you know, you can chuck a damage to all troop at the top and just concentrate on getting them ready and go for it that way. But with all that purple, we are going to just do a job on the enemy pretty quickly. But yeah, if you want to concentrate on the damage to all troop at the top, that is certainly a way to go about it. But life and death is ready to go in no time anyway. Crystal Axe is going to steal the glory though. So it's not going to be the quickest of Underspires. Looks like you could have your Methialis at the top. That's certainly a way to go about it. Would be overall pretty fast on the early stages that way. But this is kind of a nice strong team for the duration maybe. In fact, we've got life and death getting so tanky so quick. And of course, as the levels get harder with this, then Life and Death just steals even more. Life, make it even self more powerful. So yeah, we've got a safety net of Tannenbaum up top if you want to drag somebody powerful later on when things get trickier, or bash them with triple skull damage. So yeah, a few options. That should be fairly straightforward, I think. Life and Death being the style of the show, basically. As the levels get harder, it just gets tankier and tankier. Have we got any purple? No, it appears not. So we'll grab that and see if we get some purple after, which we did. Kaboosh! A couple of them out of there. I mean, we can get charged up so quickly with this. Look, this Life and Death ready to go again. All that purple was just fantastic for this team. And Life and Death, being the only one to use purple, means it gets first dibs on that purple. And because we've got one other purple using troop, Vanya Soulforge, any purple overspill goes into Vanya. Same as Tannenbaum, any extra yellow overspill goes into Vanya at the same time. So we don't waste a lot of mana on this team. That's going to give a nice double drop. It's one of those times when you don't want to take an extra turn all the time because the double drop was plenty. And we'll just collect our purple again. We're going to be ready to go in no time. Cool! Preston Axe is going to steal the glory again at the end. But it's all good. As long as it works, it works. Alright, let's just do one more and then we'll call the video a day. Come on, Wrathnaga. You can chuck your pointy, fiery trident at me as much as you want. Not scared. Have we got any purple? Got any brown? No. Oh well. We'll have to wait then. If the game decides to be mean, it decides to be mean. It's the way it goes. Right, so, what do we do? I'll get a colour I don't even use, just to show the game I don't care. That's how it goes sometimes. Oh, come on. Thank you. Kind of. Can we make a format check? Well, we can get that at the same time. Well, that was a long one. I won't always go that way. Let's just do that because they're going to die anyway. Right, and with that video, you are officially a day. But if you enjoyed the video, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.